Welcome in. This is 300 Yards to Unknown. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, Eric Patterson, E-Pat, just moments after Bryson goes down in round one of the match play. Here we are.
I couldn't keep a smile off my face for that long because you went right to it. Yeah, this is it's a good day, fun day. A lot of blowouts and upsets, and match play is just the best. I love this event. I feel like the last few years, obviously I didn't have it last year, but 2019, I don't know if I was really engaged into it. In 2018, I think I was traveling. So this year is like the first time I've really buckled in and watched it, and it's just so much fun.
It's phenomenal. And guys that, and there's still so much, like this will all shake itself out over the next 2 days, right? So when after Friday, we'll know who's getting out of groups. But yeah, to see Bryson struggle against Antoine Rosner, to see JT get his teeth kicked in by Matt Kuchar. I mean, Rahm went the distance with Munoz. I mean, this is special stuff.
And we got Rory McIlroy, who's getting crushed by a fellow Ryder Cup teammate, Ian Poulter. So it's been a lot of blowouts. I'm just seeing Webb Simpson's laying down the hammer. So good.
That Rory match was so early that it was like over, but like I forgot it already happened this morning. Like that was the first group out, and Poulter just whooped him. Rory found a swimming pool with a drive.
Yeah,
that's how
I didn't know I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. I just see his picture of a ball in a pool, and I was like, someone's having a rough go. And then it was McIlroy. I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a short day for him.
Struggle City. And then even the holes where he played well, like I think he carried it over. 13 is the one that you can drive, right? That's like the drivable. Yeah. So he hits it into the backstop there. And then I'm pretty sure he chipped it over the green into the water. Like, dude, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. We can touch on McIlroy. He just got the new swing coach, made a change there. I guess he hired on Pete Cowan, which
officially,
from my understanding, officially. My understanding, it's his first other official coach since he's been 8 years old. So pretty drastic change, and he alluded to that, but obviously hasn't taken shape so far.
No, and probably will take some time. He talked about his swing getting flat and all that stuff, things that I'll never understand because swing looks great to me. I'd love to play like Rory McIlroy does on his worst day, but I do not think Rory likes to do that. Also, I was thinking about this in terms of match play before we jump into our big topic of the day. If every event was match play, who would be the best player in the world? Because I think the answer is different than normal.
That's tough. I mean, it's just so much more variant, whatever, like volatile.
Yeah.
Like it would be tough to gauge who it is over, I don't even like a month.
So I would like to submit Daniel Berger as the best player in the world because Daniel Berger always has his B+ game. Doesn't always have the A+ game, which, you need to win a stroke play event with 150 others. Rarely kills you, right? Rarely misses. He has his B. If you have your B+ game in every single match, you probably win a lot of matches.
Yeah, it's almost we say match play is good for the guys who make triples and a lot of birdies, but just being super consistent. I think who was it? Andy Sullivan. I saw he halved his match or tied his match with Schauffele. He made 17 pars. That's how I get, obviously Xander didn't have it, but just to go through just to par him to death and to get a tie against Xander that's kind of sometimes all you need.
There was also another one whoever played, I think it was whoever played Cantlay.
I think it was Harman.
Made 9 birdies, no bogeys, and lost.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Which kind of stinks. But yeah, I think all that stuff evens out. If you're just B+ every single time, you're really good.
I could see some guys would get a boost for sure. I think there's no doubt, especially on this course. I mean, this course doesn't really favor anyone, but if they go to, I think if they switched it up or went to a Bombers track, you'd probably see, the DJs and all those guys definitely dominate a bit more.
This is a great match play course, right? I mean, just the risk reward stuff, the closing holes are pretty good. This is a very good match play course. Yeah,
I think they've nailed it. Even the closing stretch is fun with that. We talked about the drivable par 4, 13, and then 18 is almost a little drivable and kind of creates a little bit of chaos. So yeah, it's a good, definitely a good match play course.
Okay. The main event today is rarely do we get an intersection of the most popular things happening. So NFTs, NBA Top Shot, taking over the internet, taking over the world. Bryson DeChambeau taking over the game of golf, getting all the oxygen. These two things intersect for our main event today because Bryson has released NFTs, which is amazing. But just to back up a little bit here, EPAT, an NFT. We've talked about NBA Top Shot a little bit, but this is a non-fungible token. It is a way that you can essentially add ownership rights to digital items. It could be digital art, things like that, right?
Yeah, digital assets, I think, is what people are going with. And this is basically just like a digital certificate. So I picture it as like when you get a signed jersey or a signed helmet, it comes with that little certificate of authenticity just to prove that, this is what it says it is. And that's pretty much what the NFT is. And they can be assigned to, in Top Shot's case, video clips. In Bryson's case, little pieces of digital art or digital trading cards. There's a bunch of stuff you can buy with an NFT associated to it. So yeah, that's the world Bryson has entered into, and it's definitely an interesting conversation to have.
And for all the people who are saying, well, can't I just take a screenshot and now I own this art? I now own this. Sure, you have a picture of it on your phone in the same way that I would have a picture of that autographed jersey that Eric is referencing, but you don't own that. You could not resell that. So that is where one of the top questions about who owns it, what the value is of an NFT is. If you own the NFT, you can resell the NFT.
Right. And like you could argue like, oh, this isn't worth anything, but when someone goes and buys it, it's obviously worth something to them. So just my biggest gripe right now is like people getting rattled that someone's spending X amount of money on an NFT, saying it's like a giant, like just let them do whatever. If they find this valuable or they find this interesting or cool, if this is a way they want to connect with DeChambeau, then let them do it.
The whole world is based on things that we have agreed that they have value in some way or another. Like literally everything is just like, okay, we've all agreed this is the value, right? Like the dollar, the cost of this coffee mug, like that. We just agree on how much things cost. And that's where we're at in terms of digital art. And Bryson comes out on today's Wednesday. So I think this was Monday.
Yeah.
He comes out and he says, okay, here I go. I'm releasing limited edition NFTs, which is he's not the first athlete to do this, right? I think Gronk has done it. And I believe Patrick Mahomes has done it. How have those offerings gone?
So I would compare what Gronk did very closely to what Bryson has done. Gronk came out with like 5 different digital trading cards. One of them was a 1-of-1. The other 4 had, I think they were limited to 87. So Bryson, very similar, a 1-of-1, and then 4 others that were limited to 18. So I think whoever sold Gronk on the idea also sold Bryson on the idea just because of how eerily similar they are. I wrote down the numbers here. I believe Gronk sold I think he sold all of them. And if he didn't, he made a lot of money. He sold for 1.8 million is how much he got back.
So overnight, Gronk releases these NFTs, however long that auction, I assume it was auction. Okay. Yeah. Auction process, right? Gronk makes 1.8 million. So obviously an endeavor for athletes that could be pretty lucrative.
Right. And then I think Gronk's 1-of-1, like Bryson had a bunch of stuff attached to it. Gronk's got like meet and greet, a bunch of signed stuff. I think he got like an invite to one of his like famous beach parties. So like there's experiences that come along with it. And that's definitely why they fetch for a lot of money. So,
and we're going to talk about that because that kind of changes the digital aspect of it too. But then Patrick Mahomes did this, and I think he did even better, right? He did a couple of $1 billion.
He did. I Googled it this morning and I saw 3.4 million. But Mahomes was a little different. His was more actual art. Like the graphic you saw on the screen was like a little more artistic. It had some different aspects to it. Like one of them was like a rotating diamond helmet with his like initials on it, his signature. And then a portion of those proceeds actually went to charity, which is another aspect that I think I like, and maybe why someone was more inclined to spend money on it, because there is a charity aspect to it. So 3.4 million for Mahomes. Gronk was 1.8. Obviously, football's massive, but just to give you some numbers.
So is it safe to assume that if these eye-popping numbers continue, and we'll talk about what Bryson did here, are all athletes just going to start releasing their own NFTs? Because that to me, because correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like the cool thing about Top Shot is there's a marketplace and everything is constrained like here, right? Like it's in this marketplace, it's in this ecosystem. What happens if Gronk has his over here, Bryson has his over here, Mahomes has some over there? Like it's not as centralized in a
Yeah,
world
it's
that
not
wants
like
to be decentralized.
it's not as like I don't like the word like community or like in its own ecosystem in a way. Like I don't know. That's what is interesting about Top Shot is everyone's on there collecting the same things through the same system, and like there's NBA players who are buying other NBA players' moments. Like
Right.
I don't think Mahomes is going to be buying a Gronk NFT just pretty much handing Gronk money.
Well, it's also a lot harder. I mean, right? Like, okay, if you sell a, Joel Embiid and you've got that money in your account and now you see a LeBron
Right.
James that you want to buy, right? Like, it's just, I couldn't do that in this scenario. If I wanted to sell my Bryson, I assume I'd have to complete that transaction over there, take whatever that is, and then go make the offer. And also, after I buy one of these NFTs, does it still, like, if I buy Bryson's or bought Gronk's, does it stay on that same platform where I can continue to take offers on it? Or like, where does it exist now?
That's a great question. It depends on. I'm pretty sure most of them are like cross-platform. They'll like you can store them in your like digital wallets.
Mhm.
There's a few that like Bryson sold his on OpenSea, which is a very popular trading platform. I
Okay.
think
I assumed that was pretty popular, but it's not like everything's going to be on there.
no, but they're like most like eventually I think Top Shot is going to be on there, which is it just opens up the pot like more buyers are probably on OpenSea that maybe aren't using Top Shot or whatever. So there is like some kind of cross platform trading going on. But that
Mm.
that definitely makes Top Shot a little more uh I don't know, interesting or in enticing to just to go on there. You see everything right there. You don't have to like search around. You have to go on like eBay. Like eBay's different like that. Like there's just too many people trading hands, card shows. Like all these things are just the Top Shot. It's all in one little website. Boom, all right
Right.
there. So yeah, all these little one-offs. I understand them. It's obviously great for the athletes; they make money. But I think like if the NFL comes out and starts making like NFL licensed NFTs, whatever those are, moments or digital trading cards or whatever, I think people will like kind of shift towards those just because of everyone's kind of collecting the same thing.
So what Bryson does is he comes out on Monday. He says, okay, the auction's going to start, I don't know, whatever it is. But he gives you like, it's a 24-hour auction and he gives you like 24 hours notice on it, which to me, I was like, whoa, the first guy into the game here. I mean, I don't know. I don't, are these easy to buy? Like if I go to OpenSea, can I convert USD to Ethereum or do I have to go get Ethereum from a, like a
Like
crypto site, like
yeah,
even like Coinbase or whatever, and then load it into open? Like I don't like how hard would it
honestly,
be in 24 hours for me to figure this out?
for someone who just a Bryson fan, never used cryptocurrencies or any of these exchanges before, like it would take. I don't think you'd be able to figure it out and do it all knowing exactly what you're doing in 24 hours. So I was shocked that it
Right.
was only 24 hours. People kind of wrote the stories, but it didn't really gain any traction or buzz. So that was very surprising. Like, why not just let it go for a week? I don't understand that.
Especially because some of the prices he was asking. Now, I don't know if this is normal. So here he goes. He has 73 NFTs. As Eric mentioned, it is the 4 different editions that are 18 each. So 18 of American Champion, 18 of Swing, of Red, of White, which are EPAT pretty ugly, right? Like in terms of
We can
art,
touch on that. Yeah.
it's not great.
It's, well, he has no rights to any of these pictures. So he's getting, the picture of him holding the US Open trophy, that I'm 99.9% sure that's a Getty image. He's obviously taken that image, completely blurred it out, put his autograph in the background and like a little border that says Bryson DeChambeau with his logo. Like so that's a Getty image too. Like I've used that one in an article. So like it's not, he doesn't own these pictures, so he can't he has to blur it enough so that it's almost unrecognizable. Like, Getty wouldn't come and say, "Oh, that's our art." Maybe he paid for, the Getty image the right to use it. Maybe he doesn't want to show his sponsors. I'm not sure exactly the reason, but
so I'm showing this on the YouTube version of this right now. I'm showing one of them. And wouldn't it have just been easier to hire someone to create Bryson art instead of like taking an image that you don't have the rights to and blurring it and doing all this?
This is something like, I think, the Bryson doing this is cool. Like, I'm down for it. If he wants to, sell NFTs, make a quick buck, down for it. But there was an opportunity, I think, that he could have, met with a digital artist, met with someone, maybe some fans who wanted to create art for him, and Bryson could collaborate that way. I think there's an opportunity, the drive that he made, a one-of-one. I think there was an opportunity to turn that into like some type of digital art where like you're chasing the ball, or like you see his swing. Like you could do a lot in digital art. There's like, if you go through, I don't know, some of these sites, you can see them. They're all moving. They're pretty much videos, but I think they're like, that's all that is. That's like I'm pretty sure that can be made on like PowerPoint. But there's like really good digital artists out there who would probably love the opportunity to create something for Bryson where he could collaborate with them, prop them up, prop himself up. Instead, honestly, I think that took, all of these NFT probably took less than an hour to create. So I just think he missed the opportunity to maybe provide light onto someone who really wanted to make Bryson NFT, like a super fan.
So he releases all of these, 73 different NFTs. The big one, the one I just showed, the distance, that's the one-of-one. There's only one of those. The others are numbered out of 18. And they have reserve prices, minimum prices.
That's another thing that triggered me a little bit. Yeah, he put minimum bids on them, which, like, these are money. I called it a money grab. I think that's what it is, because there is no charity involved. Bryson just wants to make a quick buck, which, again, power to him. He's got a huge name, huge following. He can do that. But to put a reserve price, pretty much telling you what you think it's worth, like, let the open market decide what it's worth.
I thought that was the whole point of all of this crypto stuff, and all of like the NFTs is like the market sets the price. Like, good, bad, indifferent, the market sets the price. Here, Bryson has set the price.
If an artist wants this, he's put in 10,000 hours into this one project. He says, in order to like make a living, I need $10,000 back or $100,000. Like, sure, do it. Bryson's worth, I don't know what his net worth is, but he's probably made 10, 15, $20 million in his career already. And to set a reserve price of, like, I think they're going for like $2,000, $3,000. I don't know. That just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, it's actually, so the ones that didn't sell, 10 of them didn't, only 10 sold of the 73. He's collected 10 different sales. So that's kind of a tough look. And then if you go to the ones that are still, excuse me, open, there's like open offers, and they're almost laughable. People are putting like $5 offers on them, which is like, it's unfortunate, but that's what people, that's what they're willing to give right now for a Bryson NFT. It's like $5, $20, $30. The
one-of-one did sell, right?
It did. It looks
like it sold for 23 Ethereum or Ether. I don't know what the term is, but like, so what would that be in US dollars? Like 30 grand?
What did it sell for? 23?
23?
24.15. So that's like 40 grand US.
Okay.
But the price of it fluctuates so much, because I'm pretty sure that was less, like, even last night. But anyway,
I mean, the crypto market moves, 5-10% every hour. Okay.
Which, that came with a fresh set of clubs, custom fit, $1,000 to bows, a bunch of golf balls, a meet and greet with Bryson, and it is a one-of-one. So which is interesting, because the initial list price for that was 27 Ethereum, which is like 48 grand, and then he lowered it to three Ethereum, because no one bid on it.
4 grand.
Yeah, so
or something like that.
Everything just seemed very rushed. And again, going back to what Gronk did, I don't know if Bryson is even the one behind this, to be honest. Like, you can rag on Bryson, his face is all over it, which his name's all over his picture, whatever. But there could be someone who's, giving pitches to various athletes saying, here, I'll make you NFTs, I'll make you this much money, and then let me just do your thing. Here's your cut.
Yeah, well, just give me 10% or whatever.
Like, that could be a thing. So maybe we're just bagging on, like, I don't know if Bryson's on OpenSea grinding the offers. Like, that doesn't seem realistic.
I doubt that. So, okay. So let's talk about the offers because, and I want to make sure I use the terminology correctly here because, um, the 24-hour period that these were open for offers. And I want to say offers, I don't want to say bids. And I want to kind of compare this to eBay because like if you bid on something on eBay, that is like your current, that's the current high bid. If the auction ends there, it's over. These are offers in this 24-hour period with which EPAT, you could actually rescind your offer if you wanted to. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'm truthfully, full transparency, I've never bid on OpenSea. I don't have the pockets to buy a lot of this stuff, but I believe when it's in an auction, it's a bid, and then after the auction, it's an offer. So that's my understanding. And yeah, the way it works, which is a little strange, you can kind of blame the platform, but once you put in a bid, you can cancel that bid at any time before. My assumption was before the auction ends.
But the alternate side to that is the seller can accept the offer before it ends. Is that
Right.
also right? Which is what happened here. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah. So three different NFTs sold 5 hours before the deadline. And the only reason it kind of triggered me is because I was messaging a guy on Twitter, and he was like, "Yeah, I just threw the offer in there just to see, like, it's my highest bid, but I can always go back later tonight and cancel it. I just want to see if it gains traction. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, I'll take it, whatever. But I just want to decide later." And then I saw that they sold, and I messaged the guy, and I was like, "Did you actually, did you know that this sold?" And he went to go check, and he's like, "Well, I guess I don't have the option to decide anymore." So he was kind of like left in the dark because he assumed he could go until 10 p.m. and make his decision on his own. But the three offers were pushed through, and the sales were, I guess, completed at that point.
Which the only reason to do that, I assume, is because you don't think you're going to get any more offers or bids before the time expires, and you just want to cash in. It's almost like, just in case this guy cancels, I want to make sure I grab this money. Is what
Right.
it feels like.
And I brought that up because the ones that he accepted, they only had one bid on them, or one offer, or whatever we want to call it. So the option for them to cancel and then it goes, it doesn't sell, is still there. So, and then the other ones that did have multiple offers, they left those ones open and let the auction run out. So it came off as a little shady to me that, the ones that had one offer were pushed through 5 hours beforehand. And I just, when your name is DeChambeau and people know what you make, and then you're just kind of quick triggering people who had the understanding that they might be able to wait until 10 p.m. If these became a flop, if the guy puts in an offer and he's realizing, there's zero traction here, I got to bail because it's not worth this, he has that option to do that. But he didn't really have that option.
So you said how many of these actually sold?
10
of them? Okay.
And I mean, I think there are some now with like reasonable offers that probably will get sold at some point today or tomorrow or whenever. Another guy I spoke to, he put it in his offer, and it's just sitting there. He doesn't know if he's going to win it or not. It's above the reserve, and he's just kind of waiting.
So now are we outside of the auction period where now, like, you can just put an offer in, and if Bryson's team or whoever's in charge comes through and says that offer is acceptable, we'll take it? Like, that's where we're at now?
Right. Yeah. So they're just kind of open for offer right now. So I just clicked one, the best offer is $34. And like,
$34.
Yeah, 0.02 Ethereum when they were like the number 14 of 18. It just,
oh, I see it. Yeah.
So it's a weird 0.06. There's like a bunch of pretty low offers, but some of them are reasonable. Some of them are higher than what they sold for yesterday. So
here's one. So the current offer, the way that I read this, is 0.1 Ethereum, which is about 170 USD for this Bryson American champion, him holding the US Open trophy, 12 of 18. So this offer will be there for 6 days until either the high bidder cancels it or Bryson's team accepts it.
Yeah. And that was the same case during the auction, but I guess the bidders at the time realized that, the auction is not going to end until 10 p.m. So these people who are putting offers in now know that those offers might get pushed through right away. So I think they're a little more, and that's probably why you don't see a lot of them going for over, one Ethereum. So yeah, it's an
So
interesting world, and I don't know if Bryson or anyone who set this up for him would consider what he has done a success, but it's definitely
I want to talk about
a
that.
talking point.
But also, so of the 10 he sold, the other issue with including the stuff that is like the meet and greet, the 6 dozen Bridgestone balls, the custom clubs from Cobra, like all that stuff is if you wanted to resell that, you can't resell that stuff, right? You can only resell the art.
Right.
So
So once those, it's and it's called utility, I guess, is the term. NFTs here, they have utility. Some of them you can use them in fantasy games, like Top Shot. I think they're coming out with a fantasy game where you can use it to potentially win more moments or whatever. So there's like, you can do stuff with the NFT, and the other one is meet and greet. But once that utility is used up, you're just back to a one-of-one piece of digital art. So that's why, I value, if he was going to do this, I would have valued the art a lot more than the actual, scarcity of it, because I want something cool. And like, if you're into digital art, the Mahomes ones, I would recommend you look them up, because they're actually like really, really well done by someone who's very professional at digital art, where these are clearly not.
So of the 10 he sold, what do we think that they all brought in? We know the big one brought in
That's
like
the best
40
part about
grand.
this all. You can go through it all. You can add them up. So right now I've got, I think I had 38 Ethereum. So like $62,000 roughly.
So $62,000 for Mr. Bryson DeChambeau, or whatever kind of cut that he gets
You can
off of this.
it's good money, whatever. If I was going to charity, I don't think I'd be talking about this. I'd be like, kudos to you. You raised 68 grand for charity, or 60 grand for charity.
And I think you mentioned earlier, like, I don't think anyone on Bryson's team would say this was a success, right? Like, we can agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever his intentions are, he probably saw the other guys making millions, and then he did this and
So does that
six figures.
Do you think that this at least is, moving forward, I don't know if it's other athletes or other golfers might be like, man, like, if they're not all Gronk, they're not all Mahomes, like, I might end up looking silly, or only getting 60 grand out of this might not be worth it.
I think, if you were thinking about going this route with, digital trading cards, I think that's what we should call them. I think you got to think twice before you jump in, because it can go south pretty quickly. But if JT came out and did this, or if McElroy came out and did this, and they were like transparent about what it was for, who created them. I don't know who created these. Like, I don't know if I'm like, tell me something about them. Like, and people in the digital art space, like, they connect with the artist, or they learn about the artist. Like, these guys have been grinding in the digital world for years and years, and they had no way of making money other than trying to get, commercials or, graphic design jobs. And now they can turn their art, like their Instagram, pretty much what they were posting on Instagram, now they can sell it for thousands and thousands of dollars.
If you go look at like OpenSea and just start browsing around, like, there is some really awesome stuff. Like, I don't know what I would do with it. Like, I'm physically looking at it right now.
Yeah, there's I don't know if you have time to bring it up, but there's one by Boss Logic on Instagram. I'm 99% sure he does a lot of work for like Marvel Comics. Like a lot of.
He's the guy who did this Forever Mamba.
That's what I wanted you to bring up. Like, this.
Here it is.
This piece of art, I think, is like exceptional. Like,
I mean, look at the detail.
That's a professional digital artist doing work. And if like you had, obviously there's like the halo, there's so much more going on there, but that thing fetches like, I don't think you can get one for less than 50 grand right now. And
this is pure. This is really this is obviously a professional, like the ripples of the jersey, the I don't know, the smoke or whatever, the ambiance is, the way that this took a lot of time to do by a really professional
that's
person.
Why, like, people pay the money, because they know how much time, and like, the guy's actually a very reputable artist. But if Bryson did a collaboration with someone of that ilk, or someone who's trying to make it, I think that's a platform he could use, instead of just firing up some Getty images.
Yeah, I'm trying to see some other stuff that, like, he's just got, like, all this other stuff.
I mean, from but like, these guys were just putting them on Instagram trying to get like gigs like that, and now they can actually make money off of it.
Does that have sound? I think that had sound to it. Do these have sound?
It could have. Some of them might. There's
It
some,
does. That one has sound. I don't know if
yeah.
you can
So
hear that,
like
but it's coming through my ear. It's coming through my headphones.
there, yeah, I cannot, but I believe you. It just there's a lot of people out there trying to make it. And then one of the things people were saying is like, what's that, Xena or
Wonder Woman, I think.
Wonder Woman? Yeah. So like he does stuff for like comic book movies,
That's
and so
awesome.
he's probably done. He's probably very well off. He might not need this, but there are people out there working hard. And everyone says like NFTs are cash grabs. Like sure that people want to make money, but there are people out there who are trying to. This is the first time they've had an ability to turn their art into cash because they
Couple
do
more.
everything online.
For sure. And I love it. And I actually, I really love this. I'm going to go check out OpenSea. But I think there are also, I've seen people who are taking their digital art and trying to put it up in their home. So now they will sell they're almost like digital picture frames. Have you seen this? Where if I had that Forever Mamba.
There's a guy who's done the Forever Mamba it's a digital picture frame. It comes in like I don't know how big it's not very big, but I'm sure they'll get bigger. And then he puts it on his desk, and it honestly it's playing all the time. And it on the back, I think it has something. Someone's turned a Top Shot into one of those too.
Oh, cool.
So like people are like it's all digital. You want it to be digital, but having the physical thing of it is actually kind of cool too. So
and you could also sell it. Yeah. And if you have a digital frame, you could say, okay, well, today I want to display this one piece of digital art that I have. And tomorrow I want to display this other piece of digital art that I have. I own all the NFTs. I can sell them if I want, but I can also display them in my home or whatever it is. Like, I
mean,
like
I think that
cool.
you could, that's probably definitely coming in the near future. You walk in, you don't see someone's TV all the time. You just see their digital frames. But that's a futuristic world. Someone sent me a Twitter DM last night just because we were talking about it, and he showed me a piece of art that he was working on that's going to be coming out around the Masters time that I think is really cool. And you can probably guess what it's about with the Masters. I don't want to like spill all the beans, but like this guy's very passionate about it. He's putting in a lot of work. It's actually a really cool piece of art. You get something digital for it. It's going to charity. So there are going to be stuff like that coming on in the future. Obviously it's not, Tiger didn't create it, but there are people out there creating golf digital art.
Final thing. I have whiffed every single NBA Top Shot drop since I have tried. I think I'm literally like 0 for 13, something like that. Like it's an unbelievable stretch that I'm on. Rick Run Bad in Top Shot. Is there a market correction going on right now? Am I seeing that prices have come down because there's a lot of new packs in the marketplace? What's going on over there?
I would say the last 2 days pretty much sucked. Yeah, everything was tanking. People were selling all their LeBrons, their high end stuff,
like panic
which is
selling.
Very kind of scary. Yeah. I don't know if I have one in specific, but like so there's like Kobe tribute dunk, which is LeBron doing the Kobe dunk. I think it was the first game back at the Staples Center after Kobe passed away, and I think it sold for like 10 grand yesterday. One of them sold for 10 grand, and like it hasn't been below 20 to 25 for like a month at a time. So there was definitely a dip. I would say it's rebounding slightly, but there was just so much stuff going on at the All-Star game that it was just too hard to keep up, and people are just like overwhelmed with almost the same moments of the same guys. It was a lot to handle. And then it was a lot of sales, not a lot of purchasing over the last few days, but it's rebounding.
Well, when I finally get a pack, I'm going to be super stoked to join in. I actually do have, I have a pack that I did that pre-order pack, which is basically worthless at this point, I imagine. And then also I bought like a Jakob Podol moment just so I could get into these drops. So I had something. Yeah. It was the cheapest one on the site at the time.
I mean, if I were you, I would be selling them all, to be honest. Those low end base stuff. Yeah,
I'm in for like $18. Like,
but you can turn that 18 into. It depends on who you have. You might be able to turn it into 100.
Maybe I'll check it out. It out. Eric Patterson. Anything else before we kick it?
No, I think I'm good. I think I've said all my pieces I wanted to say on Bryson. I hope this isn't the last time someone tries it, to be honest. I think there's really cool stuff that you can do. Someone mentioned Colin Drewby on Twitter. He brought up like a pro-am seat, a spot in a pro-am. I think there's like really cool things these golfers can do that are more experiential than just, buying a digital piece of art. So I hope this isn't like, one and done, because Bryson's might not have hit a home run.
Yeah, and I mean these are this is very informative for me and hopefully for those listening. I mean this is where we're at. We're in a digital art world, and Bryson is big in our space, and those two things collided, and we had to deep dive it. So I'm glad you're on top of this enough to come in and tell us.
I hope I did a decent enough job talking. I'm I don't have the big deep wallets to go diving into some of these spots, but I do sit on the sideline and watch avidly, so I know a decent amount about it for sure.
I love it. All right, buddy. That's Eric Patterson. You can find him on Twitter at @EPatGolf. You can find me at RickRunGood. This has been 300 yards to unknown. Catch you next time.